I'm Inwood Lane. I'm known as the Gig Geezer. I can help you maximize your gig hustle. I also need your help. Hey, hit that subscribe button. Give my content a thumbs up. Spread my content with others. And I welcome your comments in the section below. And with that, let's get into this segment of the Gig Geezer. It is Tuesday, February 8th, and the reason why I'm doing this segment of the Gig Geezer is to chat about the new BiteSquad app. What has happened is that BiteSquad a week ago announced that it was retiring its Squadron app, which was not a favorite among many of the drivers whom I have been in contact with during my hustles. The BiteSquad app was primitive. Very primitive. I used to be a computer science major, and compared to the other apps, it was almost like doing things in mnemonics. That's about as low as it gets. We're talking about bytes, literally bytes. Play on word, right? Ones and zeros. The BiteSquad app was uninviting, unimpressive, inefficient, slow, frustrating. And so, what you want to know about the Waitr app. Now, in my market, I guess my market may have been one of the last to transition over to the Waitr app. I have to do a little research on this, and I'll just throw, it is my understanding that BiteSquad and Waitr are under the same corporate logo under Waitr. In fact, when you get your 1099 statements, it comes from Waitr in San Francisco. And so apparently BiteSquad is under Waitr. And so BiteSquad finally has transitioned into Waitr's interface, which was a very welcome thing. The app, right from the start, is more visually appealing. You have the option of a light or a dark mode. I've chosen the dark mode. The notification is a big difference. With the old BiteSquadron app, it was something that gave me PTSD from my childhood. What do I mean by that? It was the old telephone ringing sound. I'm talking about the old rotary dial phones where the cord actually is lodged into a wall socket, not a phone jack, but a wall socket. When he used to talk about phones ringing off the hook, literally that was the old BiteSquad notification. What was very welcoming already with the BiteSquad, with the new BiteSquad / Waitr app, just aside from the visuals, is the notification. It is the Apollo, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Apollo ringtone, which is a whoop, something like that. Something that's much more appealing to the ear, something that's much more calming and less nerve-wracking and annoying. So those are my initial and quick impressions. Now let's get into the app. The app, as with most apps, they are designed with the intent to be very user-friendly, so that not the most computer or app literate person can pretty much use the app without really any instructions or training or formal training. BiteSquad did provide a introductory video during this week or so transition period, so that you can check out the app, at least on YouTube, a YouTube short about it. I really didn't need that, and I would think that most drivers out there wouldn't need it as well. That said, the app has more features, way more features, probably more than even DoorDash and GrubHub and ubereats. I think it's just the way that it's packaged that makes it much more appealing, something that's more well received than the other apps. Okay, I am on my way to the drop-off from Tokyo Grill with this BiteSquad order for $8.50. This is the second one that's paying $8.50. I don't know if that's the minimum today or not, because it's the first day of the Waitr app, but $8.50 is respectable and something that I definitely would take. the app. All right, so with my phone, I'm not able to switch away and all unless I had a second phone. But anyway, just talking from memory already with the app, there are some subtle reminders that you're still dealing with BiteSquad. But the main thing is that you have the information. You have the restaurant, you have the customer's address. You do not see the customer's address until you have arrived at the restaurant. But that's okay. Upon the acceptance screen, you actually can see in the general vicinity of where the drop-off is. Now, if you know your market, you kind of know where you're going. That helps, because if that location was showing somewhere else on the map, I mean, where it's a much longer distance, then you know to turn it down. I mean, at least you would think you would turn it down. But once you arrive at the restaurant, it still shows you the items that the customer is supposed to get. Now there are the check boxes, but that is not. You do not have to check off those boxes in order for the app to move on to the next screen, which is having mark the order as picked up. With the old BiteSquad app, you had to hit every box, and then you had to actually hit twice. I guess it's to verify the order contents and all. So you had to verify the orders, and then you mark the order as picked up. And then on the old BiteSquad app, Squadron app, then you would see the actual address. Now, the other thing that's nice about the new Waitr app is that you see time and distance. You actually see an estimated time and distance, and on the map, through at least the old dot and line method, you can actually see a recommended route to get you there in the most efficient way possible. Now, already on the previous delivery, I just wanted to see if it actually tracks where you're going and then shows a different suggested route, but it doesn't do that. That is just a suggested route. If you know your market, you know you can shave some time off of those deliveries to put yourself in a position for another delivery. Or if you are like me, where you oftentimes stack across multiple apps, then you're just saving time so that you can get to the next drop off quicker than what the app suggests. Well, okay, so I just dropped off this second BiteSquad order, and what I've noticed consistently, at least so far after 2 orders, is that you really cannot communicate with the customer. The first time I attempted to do that, it was to do as I would like with a GrubHub order, for example, or you can even use a DoorDash, where you would take a picture of the order where you placed it, and then give them a message, order delivered, something like that, and then send a text using the scrambled number, that is. It doesn't really allow you to do that on the Waitr app. In fact, Waitr sends you a text. Thank you for texting Waitr, and they say that it's supposedly used during the order. Well, I did that during the order before I marked the order as delivered, but apparently that is not a feature that we can use yet on the app, or maybe cannot use at all. But that said, I still think that this is a much better, much easier app to use than the old BiteSquad Squadron app. All you have to do is, slide accept, slide arrive at the restaurant, and slide deliver, and then you are on your way to the next order. And I can deal with that. So far today, the orders are paying a minimum of $8.50. It could be that is what their minimum is today. I do recall when BiteSquad first came to this market, many of the orders were paying a minimum of $8.50. And then all of a sudden they went down to $5.51. And then in recent weeks, I've seen orders as low as $2.86, which is a bunch of, which was absolutely stupid, to say the least. But again, that's just for today. I can't complain much about the app, and that's a good thing. I had 2 rather seamless BiteSquad orders in which I arrived, picked up the orders, and dropped them off. Well, the third time was not the charm today. I arrived at this locally owned restaurant chain called Lizard Thicket. I've shared something about these people before, the Williams family. But anyway, when I arrived there, the order was not placed in, and I wasn't going to wait 15 minutes for that order because I already had picked up a Uber Eats order and accepted a stacked portion, a stacked addition to that Uber Eats order. So I am moving on where the money is leading me. But that said, it is cool that all I had to do was to release the order. Yes, it gave me a warning about it's going to affect my acceptance rate and all that, but I could care less about acceptance rate. I have operated in the single digits in all my apps. Okay, it's a couple of hours later, and I have finished my hustle for at least the first half of today. And I did have some questions that I wanted to at least get answers from BiteSquad. And what I'm finding out is that, yes, BiteSquad is slowly transitioning into Waitr. And so it was BiteSquad that was acquired by Waitr, formerly based out of Minnesota. But the questions that I had though was about pay, and when we're able to access our monies. And there was nothing that explained all that. And so after about a 12 to 15 minute wait, getting in contact with BiteSquad/Waitr support, young lady was very nice and very helpful in terms of answering some questions. First one is, where do you access your earnings information, at least while you're out doing your hustle? And what you do is you look down to the bottom of your delivery screen, and you see on your date 3 dots, 3 horizontal dots. And so you hit those 3 dots, and then it'll show you your delivery information. And then when you go into that, it'll show, when you go into each delivery, it'll actually show a comparison of the estimated delivery time and the actual time that supposedly you spent to deliver that order. And so for me today, I got progressively worse. It was like 5 minutes beyond the estimated delivery time, 16 minutes beyond delivery time, and then 31 minutes beyond delivery time, estimated delivery time. Well, until they start sending me friendly, well-written emails about that, I'm not going to concern myself. I don't believe that the app I don't believe the app takes into consideration where you are in relation to where you accept the order. Just a lot of variables. It could be waiting on that order to be completed so that you can deliver the order or whatever. But it's an interesting feature to have. With respect to when you're able to access your money, apparently it is still under the BiteSquad schedule, in that you can still cash out on a daily basis. But the actual totals you will not see until the next morning. As with BiteSquad, it used to be somewhere around 8 o'clock the next morning, you will see those numbers update, and then you can access either by cashing out all or part of the monies. And then it was a matter of you'd either pay $1.99 for same day deposit or immediate deposit into your bank account or wherever, Zelle or PayPal. It was $2.99. So overall, still, I think that the Waitr/BiteSquad app is much more user friendly, much more driver friendly, much more informative, and much more appealing from the aesthetics. So I don't have any complaints at this juncture. I think it was a good move that they do transition out of the old BiteSquad process. So with that, that's all I have for this segment of the Gig Geezer. I am in Wood Lane, and as always, may your hustle continue.
Thank you for checking out this segment of the Gig Geezer. If you reach this point, it means that you've checked it out in its entirety, and it's very much appreciated, and it tells YouTube that you're very much engaged in my content. Hey, if you'd like to get in contact with me or pass on some other useful information, I can be reached at giggeezer3.5@gmail.com, or you can check me out on Twitter at giggeezer.